Hello, Scott Haskin here to talk about the final Haunted Holidays album, Deadly Christmas 3. At this time, I don't have any plans to continue the series. I have thought about doing an album of, a combination of all the rest of the holidays of the year, but I haven't really found anything that's quite struck me just yet. But, you never know. One day I could say, hey, I found 16 songs that I think would be perfect, and start working on it. So for now, there's no plans, but you never know what could happen down the road. So before we start on the album itself, I want to talk about a little bit about what went into it. As I said in the last series, I actually finished these the second and the third album at the same time, and I just didn't mix and master the third one until the following year from the release of the second one. But they were all done together, and then I just pick and chose which songs went with which voices and then which songs went on which albums. So, however, it needed new artwork and it needed new lettering, and as you can see, a slightly distorted version because I have a widescreen television and this is not a widescreen image. You can see the beautiful artwork that Kelly Kincart at OutsideTheBox.Photo created for me, and just stunning. I love it. There's some real interesting subtleties. There's a little bit of a face on the wall. You can see the eyes peeking out, and that's something fun that you can look for. And you can see a reflection of the bulb hanging from a Christmas tree that it's clearly not hanging from. So that's a bit interesting. And just the mood of it, I really like the sort of black and white with just the subtleties of red. It really makes the ornament stand out, but it also just makes for an interesting depth to the picture that you don't get otherwise if it's just a full color or black and white. So those little splashes of color really made a big difference for me. And then, of course, we changed up the lettering a little bit. Rebecca Poole at dreamstomedia.com went with red this time to shade the letterings, and a little bit of a sort of that winter blur that you get, like if you're looking out the window and there's a little bit of frost on the window, or the windows are a little bit wet from the snow melting and then freezing over. So you get a little bit of that blur effect with the letters, and also just a touch of red to kind of set it apart from the rest of the picture. So I really love the work that both of these wonderful ladies have done on all three albums. Really everything that I've done with them. I didn't start working with Rebecca until later albums, but the work that she's done has just been stunning. And of course, Kelly and I have worked on quite a number of albums together now. We're actually working on a new one that I'm hoping to finish by the end of the year or early next year. And already the images is just fantastic. So, I'm so lucky to get to work with these people because they're really good at what they do, and they're great to work with. They have great personalities. They're really excited about the work that they do. We can have differences, but at the same point, everything is dealt with very, very professionally and very friendly, and I really like that. It's kind of rare, especially in these days, to find people that work in that way. So, Kelly and Rebecca, thank you very much. I love working with you ladies. You're absolutely wonderful, and can't wait till we finish up the next album and then the next one and everything that comes after that. So this video, we're talking about the first song on the album, O Little Town of Destruction, which of course is a new take on the version of O Little Town of Bethlehem. And I'm not sure where the story came from, to be honest. I just thought I want to write something about the town of Bethlehem. We don't really hear much about it in the Bible. It's just kind of like, hey, they're in Bethlehem and this happened, and then it's gone. So I thought it might be interesting to kind of dig into it a little bit, and I thought, maybe it's not as warm and cozy of a place as we're led to believe. Maybe it's actually kind of an impoverished place, or a place that's kind of like a trap for tourists, or a place that maybe robbers come from, whatever it was. And so I just kind of played around with a few ideas. And then I came up with really more just the basic idea and then the ending. And then I built back from the ending and I built the rest of the story. So it was a lot of fun. Musically, I think it's pretty interesting because you really have a story to carry on and kind of keep it interesting. So you have to have a little bit of a musical passage that doesn't really intrude on the story, but at the same time really just kind of keeps it moving forward. It's a little bit tricky to do that, but I think I've kind of mastered that a bit during this series. I'd like to see if I could do that maybe with something else. And maybe it was my experience scoring films where I learned kind of that idea, although I never really had to work against dialogue quite in this way before. So it's a little more like working with an author in an audiobook. Really kind of an interesting project. And I really enjoyed working, honestly, on all three of these albums. And I hope that you guys have enjoyed the songs. I hope that you guys have enjoyed a little bit of the insight of what went on to create the song. But that's it for this one. And we'll see you guys in the next video tomorrow.